Hi, everybody.
Hello and ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas.
It is now time for our Christmas shopping guide. Woo!
That's right.
We have pulled some categories together, and we're going to give you some of our picks for those categories, just different things that we think would be good that would fit for different types of people, different groups of people. This isn't a top 10, this is just a general idea. So we're going to be talking about kids games. We're going to be talking about family games. We're going to be talking about two-player games because 80% of the time we play games, it's two-player. And then lastly, we're going to be talking about strategy games.
That's right. So let's kick things off with family games. This is one of the ones that's always big hits around this time of year, big family gatherings. What do? You watch the game, the football game, or you can play the game. We can play some board games. We've got some great ideas for you. The first one I want to talk about is That Old Wallpaper. This is essentially a tile-laying game, but instead of tiles, it uses cards. What you're trying to do is you're drafting these cards using this unique betting mechanism, laying them out in front of you, trying to mimic one of those old-style wallpapers that you see like in old hotels or maybe your grandparents' house, something like that. You get points based off of how well you did, how well you laid everything out. But because of how it is, you have to kind of diversify what all tiles you get. So it's got this unique scoring at the end of it. It's a lot of fun. It's very easy to teach. The betting system is very unique. And there's even, when you lose out on something that you wanted to get, you still, there's these great, basically, what's that called? Condensation prize, not condensation, but consolation. Condensation.
Condensed milk.
You get like a water glass with like water on the outside. No, you get a consolation prize of these wild cards, which are fantastic. So overall, That Old Wallpaper is a great hit and the great game, great stocking stuffer.
Yeah, but you know what everybody else loves? Gambling. And if you are a fan of that, you want to do it with the family, have I got the game for you. Ready, set, bet. Oh my gosh, this game is hilarious. So it's a real-time game, and you are placing bets on what horse you think is going to cross the line. Now, there's an app you can download if you want all players to play. I personally think it's super fun to have somebody roll that and announce that and move the horses as it happens. But, oh my gosh, you will be yelling at those things. You'll be yelling at the person. That's why you don't want to yell at an app. You want to yell at a person.
So you can blame someone directly.
Yes, that's why you want somebody else to do this. But it can play a higher player count, so you can have a lot of people involved around the table. This is definitely going to be one, like, when you're playing it, you're going to be, like, standing up, ready to go and just yelling. Oh, my gosh. It is a blast.
Taking it down a notch in excitement and craziness level, trekking through history. This is a fantastic game. Basically, you have this time machine, right? And you're going back into the past. But usually in movies, you go back and forth in time. No way. You're going to go back in past, but then you have to go back and relive things chronologically. And every time that you have to take one that takes you back, you reset and you score your cards that you've gathered at that point. So it's a really fun system. On top of that, there's kind of a set collection thing. You have these fantastic components. Everything in this game is almost overproduced. It's so good looking. Everything about it is wonderful. You have the set collection aspect of it too, so you have two different scoring mechanisms as you're trying to build this whole thing out. And then once you reset, you go back to the beginning of time, you relive life through again in chronological order. And the bigger of the string you can get of these events in chronological order, the more points you're going to get. It is a gorgeous game. It's got a little bit of an educationalist to it as well, but you don't have to necessarily dwell on that. You can just play the game also.
All right, our last game for this category is Downtown Farmers Market. So this is a game where you have a scoring grid. So you have cards here and cards here, and they each have different scoring for the row or column that they're in. I think I just did the opposite there, but it doesn't matter. Just ignore that. So what's happening is cards are being drafted, and you're putting them in your tableau to try to get the certain scoring parameters.
Words are hard today, you guys.
Oh my gosh. Fa la la la. But what's really fun about this game, at least something that I really enjoy, is there's a lot of hate drafting involved because you can see what everybody else has, and so you can intentionally, when you're drawing things, you also get rid of stuff as well that people can't draw, so you can kind of see what other people are going for. And this might be why I can't win, is because I'm so focused on getting stuff that you can't have, I just take cards away. But we actually think hate drafting is fun. We enjoy that in our family, so that's a fun experience for us. It might not be for everybody, but if that sounds interesting to you, I would definitely check out Downtown's Farmers Market.
Let's switch gears over to our kids game category. We've got 2 kids. We have a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old, and we've played games with lots of different ages of kids as well. So this is an area that's a lot of fun to buy for a great age range because I feel like back in the day, good kids games were hard to find, right? You'd have 1 or 2, really good hits from like some of the, more hobby established companies, but then everything else was kind of mass market, kind of trash. But then eventually, publishers caught on to the fact that parents are the ones that are buying these games. They're the ones that have to play them with the kids. Why not make it fun? Learn them. Might as well make them fun for the parents too, or the grown-ups that are playing with these kids. So kids games have gotten so good lately to where, every kids game that we see, our kids love, and we have a good time with it as well. So the first one I want to talk about is Yummy Yummy Monster Tummy. This is from Lucky Duck Games, and Lucky Duck Kids specifically, their kids line. This is an app-driven game where you have these monsters and they're different colors. But what's going to happen is everybody has a whole bunch of cards in their hand. They're all different colored trash, and these monsters eat this trash. You're going to use these QR codes on your phone, scan the different cards, and what you're doing is you're mixing the colors together, all these different colors of trash, in order to try to blend them together to get the color of that monster.
Yeah.
So kids understand from an early age. They get taught in preschool, yellow and blue make green, or whatever it is. But you get these kind of odd, browns or oranges or pinks, and what can I possibly mix together to make those? And you're scanning these different combinations of cards. It's just so much fun. Usually you have these app games that kids are just in an app. They're just kind of scrolling through and looking at it, doing whatever by themselves as a solo activity. No, this is a group activity. You're all trying to mix cards together. You're all involved. There's a board game and an app together. It's a blast.
All right, my pick for this, or one of my picks for this, is My Little Pony Adventures in Equestria. So this is a cooperative deck builder game, and I just think Renegade is amazing at cooperative deck builder games. But this is a game where you are the main characters in My Little Pony, and you are trying to go to these different places and defeat these different things. But here's the thing. So sometimes there's kids programming that everybody across the world hates, like Caillou. We all know it's horrible. We all hate it. We don't know why it was ever produced. Nobody's like, yes,
someone who just hates parents made Caillou.
Yes. But then there's other programming that's geared towards kids, like Bluey or My Little Pony, where you're just where you just find that your kids have left the room and you're still watching it. So that's why I really like this, because it's something that you can both geek out on together, right? It's something that if you have kids in your life that really like My Little Pony, you guys can enjoy all the things that is happening in this game, all the cards that are happening with this. And there's expansions for this game too, so if it's something that your family really enjoys, you can really get into that. But I super enjoyed that.
All right, I'm going to talk about a game that is not advertised towards kids, but it's a game that our kids have had a fantastic time with, and that is Keepers. It's kind of in that genre of games where it's like someone gives out a clue, and then everyone submits a card into the kitty based off of that clue. And then you shuffle up the cards, you lay them out, and then everyone kind of votes on who they think did the best, or possibly even the worst job at describing whatever that word was, with pictures. It uses this fantastic, real-world natural nature photography, all by this one photographer. I'm going to say his name wrong, I'm sure. It's Byron Georgian. I'm saying that wrong, I'm sure. But the point is, it's lovely. It's a wonderful game. There's no words in this game. It's all just the pictures, and these gorgeous pictures. Our kids loved it so much that whenever we play it with them, when we're done, they go take the game, they go across to the other table, and they just play it themselves. Yeah. So this is it's just so visually stunning, such a simple game, simple rules, but it's just lovely. Our kids loved it. We loved it too, within that genre of games, but they really took on to it, which is why I'm putting it in the kids category instead of the family category.
All right, the last one we have for this category is Hammer Time. I don't think I could really have a kids category without it being some type of dexterity game that's in that. And so this is that for that. So in this game, you have the box, you flip it upside down, you have all these gems, and you place it on the gem. Now what you're trying to do is fulfill the cards that you have. So you have cards that have certain colors of gems to fulfill it. The first person to fulfill all of it wins. Okay, so here's the thing. you're hitting the box and you're trying to get certain gems to fall off because you only want your color of gems, or you can't have too many gems fall off or so you don't get any of the gems. If you can do a certain amount, if you can do like just this or just this color, you'll get bonus things. And there's even this other component that you can add to the game that adds a challenge. Like you have to do it with your non-dominant hand. You have to do it without your thumb. Like all sorts of stuff. And it's really fun. This is a game that our girls ask for a lot. So that's another reason why it's on this list. It's because it's one that they routinely ask for. And when they have friends over, they try to take it because they want to play with it. But we're always like, oh my gosh, all the gems are going to go missing.
I have them all counted out. I know how many there are.
Yes, yeah. That's what we told our daughter recently. Like, yeah, that's fine. You can play this. But you need to count how many citizens are in the rule book. And you need to count individually that those all get put back.
All right, so once more, switching gears. Bethany mentioned that we play a lot of two-player games. That's true. We are each other's main playing partners. We play other games as well, but with other groups and stuff like that. But a lot of our plays are two players, so we love and appreciate a good two-player game. First one I want to talk about. Oh my gosh, this game is called Boop. This is all about Boop. This is all about these adorable cats jumping around on a mattress, bouncing things around. And once a cat jumps on a mattress, everybody else kind of springs away from it, even your own people, which is problematic because the goal of the game is to get 3 in a row. So if you put one of your own cats next to one of your own cats, it's going to bounce away. So you have to kind of plan and strategize how you're going to make that happen. It's just an adorable game, fantastic production. And oh my gosh, it's thinky, it's clever, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just one of those games where it's kind of a perfect two-player abstract game, but it has this cat theme on it, which is just really works well. It's really cute.
All right, the game that I want to talk about for this category is Disney's Sorcerer's Arena Epic Alliances. So this is a game where it is an arena-style game. You each have 3 characters from Disney, Pixar that you're familiar with, and they're just combating each other. So first to 20 points wins, and that's basically it. All the characters have a special ability. You have a blended hand of all 3 of the characters that you have that can give you different abilities and do things with each other. And you take turns every other until somebody reaches 20 or until somebody gets out of their deck. I think that this is super easy. I feel like if you're a huge fan of Disney and Pixar and you like arena style games, that this is going to be one that you would enjoy. Which is really funny because I don't like combat games.
You say that, but at the same time, whenever when we play, when you're like, that was fun. I think you like combat more than you realize.
Okay, I mean, I might enjoy combat a little bit more than I realize, like you said, but I think my thing is, it has to be the only thing.
Yeah.
Like, if it's combat and area control or something like that, then it's just whatever. But if it's just combat, it's fine. But if it's like different aspects and combat's in there, then I'm not going to like it. That's what I'm going to say right now. Check back in 2023 to see if I change my mind.
Which you will.
I will.
As I will too, I'm sure. All right, so the last two-player game I want to talk about is Destinies. It technically plays 1, 2, or 3, but I felt like the sweet spot was 2 players, especially for us. Oh my gosh, this game is so cool. Yeah. It's very expansive. It has all these different card tiles, which are locations, and it kind of has this exploring mode to it. And it has it with a fog of war or kind of thing where you don't actually get to see the land until you actually move into it, and you get to see more and more of the map as you move around. It's all app-driven. It's Lucky Duck games, so a lot of their games have that kind of that app-driven aspect to them. And it tells you exactly what characters to put on each tile, what landmarks to put on those tiles, and you can interact with them in the app and in real life as well. It's in the 3D world as well as within the app. You have all these different mysteries to explore, and the main goal of the game is you have a destinies in front of you. So each character has 2 destinies that they might want to fulfill, hence the name of the game. And you have different objectives that each destiny might take you on. And so you can work on one of the destinies, you can try to work on the other one, or as you're searching around, you kind of work on both of them simultaneously, and so you can figure out which one is the one that you're going to be able to complete first. It's a race to complete and fulfill your character's destinies. There's a bunch of different scenarios in the box. Destinies is a great 2-player game. We played Journeys in Middle-earth, and that was another great game, but this gave us that same exact experience with tons of great little tiny miniatures and the tiles. Oh, it's fantastic.
All right, we're going to carry on to our very last category, and this is strategy, which is fun. And okay. The first game I'm going to talk about, you might not think is like a super strategy game, but it is. It is a roll and write, but it's like an amazing roll and write. It's not Hadrian's Wall. I haven't played that yet. This
need to.
I know. This is Three Sisters. So if you follow us on like social media at all, if you follow us on Twitter, I've talked about this game so much. I love this game. It is so good. It seems like super simple, right? And it is super simple. But this is a game where it's going to have like, I can do this, so I can do this, so I can do this, so I can do this. And it is crazy incredible how it just bounces off of that. Because you don't think when you see the actions that you have available, there's no way I'm going to be able to fill out this whole card. But you can. And you will. This game is amazing.
All right, so the first strategy game I want to talk about, Ark Nova. This is a game that was hard to find for a while, and it's not cheap, but man, if you can get your hands on it, I think this is going to be a great gift for the person in your life who likes those heavier strategy Euro-style games. This has a zoo theme on it. You're trying to fill up your zoo with these animals. There's a million cards in this box, just a ton of different cards. They all represent different things that you can work on and try to fulfill, and you're trying to partner with all these different zoos all across the world, and so some zoos are going to be better off paired with African zoos, so you can get you're better at getting those kinds of animals, or Asian, or whatever the case is. There's just a lot going on in this game. It's kind of hard to describe, but you're just trying to fill up your zoo with as biggest diverse of animals as you can to try to earn the most points and money as you can, right? It's got this really unique scoring mechanism, kind of similar to a game called Raja of the Ganges, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. But you have two different tracks, and you're trying to ultimately make them meet. Whoever can make their tracks meet first is going to will trigger the end of the game, and then whoever can buy the furthest amount is going to be the winner. So that is Ark Nova. Really, really fun, but pretty heavy too.
All right, another game that I want to talk about is The Spill. So this is another cooperative game where it is, Ryan described it in our review of it, and I thought it was perfect. Reversed, what did you say?
Tower defense.
Reverse tower defense. And I thought that it was a perfect illustration for it. So there is an oil spill, and you are working together to try and contain that. Not only are you trying to contain that oil spill, but you're also trying to treat the animals that have been affected by that. One of the things that I think is amazing about this game is that you can really level the difficulty without having to change the amount of time it takes you to set up the game. So I think that that is very unique to a cooperative game. Usually you have to take certain cards out, you have to shuffle certain things in, you have to do it this, count 20, then shuffle this in, then count 20, but you don't have to do this in this game. You just move the trackers along. So I think that is really cool. And then also all the games are different because you have different scoring mechanisms to what happened in the game in order for you to win. You can lose the same every single way, but you have these different criteria to make in order to win your game. So if you have somebody in your life that likes cooperative, that likes strategy, but also just wants a lot of variety in that, I feel like this Spill is the right game.
All right, so I'm going to talk about Boone Lake. This is a super heavy game from Alexander Pfister. It's a little bit of a longer one, but again, if someone who's like those heavier Euros in their lives, I think they're going to love this one if they haven't played it already. Basically, you're traveling down this river, and every stop you go, you have different resources you can build on. You're going to build up these tiles, build up these different lands. You're trying to clear off your board of getting cattle out on the board, trying to build different buildings. Your workers are kind of use your workers in all different ways. There's kind of a multi-use components in this game. The way that you pay for things is really unique as well because you are basically creating these trading routes with these different resources. So it's not you spend resources, you have to be able to set up ways that you can have a permanent resources fund. So, man, this is a really heavy, really thinky game, but it's so satisfying. Win or lose, you had a great time playing this one.
Well, thank you so much for watching our Christmas shopping guide. We want to know which ones on these lists we're like, yes, I definitely need to check that out. Or which ones did we totally miss? Where you're like, you talked about those? Did you forget about this kid's game? We also want to hear that. So please let us know in the comments below. And if we do another one in the future, what's another category you'd like to see us cover?
Absolutely. You guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And until then, you guys be sure to hit all of our social media channels. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming out, a lot of fun stuff planned for the new year. So be sure to follow us in all those places. You guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.